My name is Rachel, and I'm about to tell you the story of how my own mother looked my 8-year-old daughter in the eyes and told her she wasn't real family, and how 24 hours later, I handed her a piece of paper that changed everything. But let me back up a little. I'm 34, single mom to the most amazing little girl you'll ever meet. Her name is Lily. I work in property management, and yeah, I know what you're thinking. Property management? That doesn't sound like some glamorous job, right? It's not. But here's the thing, I'm good at it. Really good. I spent the last 6 years learning everything about real estate, building relationships with investors, studying property law, working 60-hour weeks while raising Lily on my own. See, I've always been the disappointment in my family. I got pregnant young, never married Lily's dad, worked my way through community college while everyone else was living their picture-perfect lives. My mom, Patricia, she's always favored my older sister, Jennifer. Jennifer's got the husband, the 2 kids, the white picket fence, the whole thing. And me? I was just Rachel, the one who made bad choices, the one who couldn't get it together. For years, I stayed quiet. I accepted being pushed to the sidelines because I thought that's what you do to keep the peace, you know? I thought if I just worked hard enough, proved myself enough, maybe one day they'd see me differently. But Thanksgiving last year, that was the day everything changed. So it's Thanksgiving morning, and Lily and I show up early to help with the cooking like we always do. My mom immediately puts me on kitchen duty, chopping, stirring, cleaning, while Jennifer gets to supervise and socialize with everyone. Lily tries to help set the table, and Mom redirects her. Jennifer's kids already did that, honey. Why don't you go play? I should have seen it coming then, but I didn't. Dinner starts, and there's like 20-plus people filling up the dining room. Extended family, everyone's laughing, taking their seats. I plate up some food for Lily. She's 8 years old and hungry, right? And we head to the table. Every single seat is taken, but I can see 2 empty chairs right there at the end. I'm about to pull them out when my mom stands up. She physically blocks us, and I'll never forget what she said next. "Oh, Rachel, we're short on chairs this year. You two can eat in the kitchen after we're done." I just stared at her. "Mom, there are 2 empty chairs right there." She cuts me off, and her voice gets louder so everyone can hear. "Real family eats first, sweetie. You and your mother can wait in the kitchen." The entire room goes dead silent. I mean, you could hear a pin drop. My Uncle Tom looks uncomfortable, shifting in his seat. Jennifer, my own sister, smirks into her wine glass like this is the funniest thing she's ever seen. And then I look down at Lily, my baby girl. Her eyes are filling up with tears, and she whispers, "But Mommy, I'm hungry." My 12-year-old cousin Amy, Jennifer's daughter, she whispers just loud enough for everyone to hear, "I guess some people just don't belong." Nobody defended us, not one person at that table. I took Lily's hand and we walked into the kitchen. We sat on these uncomfortable stools eating reheated sides, while through the doorway I watched my entire family laugh, toast each other, take photos, without us, like we didn't even exist. Lily looked up at me with those big eyes and asked the question that broke my heart. "Mommy, why doesn't Grandma like us?" I took a breath, I held her little hand, and I said, "She thinks we're not good enough, baby, but I promise you, tomorrow she's going to understand exactly who we are." After dinner, my mom handed me a stack of dirty dishes. "Since you're already in there," she said with this smile, like I was the help, like I was nothing. Jennifer cornered me while I was washing those dishes. She leaned in close and said, "You know, Rachel, if you'd made better choices, Lily would have a real family." I didn't say a word. I just finished the dishes, dried my hands, got Lily, and drove home. That night, after I put Lily to bed, I went to my filing cabinet, the one I keep locked. I pulled out a manila folder I'd been keeping for 6 months. Inside was a property deed, transfer documents, legal paperwork, all with my name on them. See, what my mother didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I'd been planning something. And the next morning, they were all going to find out exactly what the disappointment had been doing while they were busy calling her a failure. Friday morning, the day after Thanksgiving, my phone absolutely explodes. It's the family group chat, and I'm reading through message after message. "Jennifer, can you believe Rachel made a scene yesterday? So embarrassing." My Aunt Linda, "Poor Lily, that child deserves better than what Rachel can provide." And then my mom, I've been patient for years, but I think it's time Rachel learned some humility. 40 messages, 40, and not one single person defended me or Lily, not one. I screenshot every single message and added it to my folder. That afternoon, my mom calls. Rachel, come over. We need to talk. Leave Lily with a sitter. I knew this wasn't good, but I went anyway. I walked into that living room, and there's my mom, Jennifer, and Aunt Linda all sitting there waiting for me. It felt like an ambush, because it was. My mom doesn't even ease into it. She just says, "We've made a decision. You're not welcome at family events anymore until you get your life together." Jennifer jumps in. "Lily's becoming a bad influence on my kids. They're asking why she doesn't have a dad." Aunt Linda adds her 2 cents. "This is tough love, Rachel. You need to face reality." I just looked at them. Reality? What reality is that? My mom leans forward. "That you're a burden on this family. You've been riding on our reputation for years." Then she pulls out this typed up list. I'm not even kidding. She typed it up. House rules for Rachel. Things like no uninvited visits, no asking for money, no bringing Lily to family functions. I read it, folded it up, put it in my purse. "Is that all?" I asked, super calm. My mom looked frustrated that I wasn't crying or begging. "Don't you have anything to say?" I stood up. "Not yet, but I will, very soon." That evening, Jennifer posts all the Thanksgiving photos to Facebook. The caption says, "Grateful for real family, the people who show up, work hard, and make us proud. Turkey, heart." Lily and I, we're cropped out of every single photo, every single one. The comments start flooding in. Extended family praising Jennifer, pitying me. My cousin writes, "Some people just can't get it together even with all the help in the world." My mom comments with a heart emoji. "So proud of my successful daughter." Heart. Lily saw it. She was looking over my shoulder and she saw that they cut us out. "Mommy, why did they cut us out?" I held her close. "Because they don't understand what we're worth yet, baby, but they're about to learn." Now, let me tell you the secret I'd been keeping for 6 months, because this is where everything comes together. 6 months before that Thanksgiving, I was at work reviewing property records. I was researching foreclosure listings. It's part of my job. And I noticed a familiar address pop up. My heart literally stopped. It was my mother's house, the house she was so proud of, the house where she just humiliated my daughter. I pulled the full property history, and here's what I found. My mom and dad bought that house back in 1987. My dad died in 2019, and after he passed, my mom refinanced twice. She took out massive equity loans, and she was 3 months behind on mortgage payments. The bank had already started foreclosure proceedings. My mother, the woman who called me a financial failure, was about to lose everything. I made a decision that night. I contacted the bank directly. I'd been saving for 6 years, working those 60-hour weeks. I had $47,000 saved up. Using my real estate connections and my company's investment group, I structured a deal with the bank. I covered the back payments and negotiated to buy the property deed. The bank wanted the debt settled. They didn't care who paid. The transaction was completed in April, fully legal, fully documented. I now held the deed to my mother's house. For 6 months, my mother lived in my house. She treated me like garbage in my house. She excluded my daughter from family dinners in my house, and she had no idea. I kept quiet because I was waiting for the right moment. And that moment came the day after Thanksgiving, when she opened an envelope and realized that the disappointment owned everything she was so proud of. I called my lawyer, David. He's an old friend from high school who I once defended from bullies. He never forgot that. When I called him about this whole situation, he worked overtime to make sure everything was ironclad. "Everything's ready," David told me Friday evening when we met at a coffee shop. "The deed transfer is registered. The notice of ownership is prepared. How do you want to deliver it?" "In person," I said. "Tomorrow morning. I want to see her face." David warned me, "Rachel, this is going to blow up your family." I looked at him. "David, they already blew up my family. I'm just making it official." Meanwhile, the family group chat kept going. Saturday morning, Jennifer texts, "Mom's planning Christmas. Already confirmed Rachel is not invited." Laughing face. Aunt Linda, "Honestly, it's for the best. Some people just don't fit." My mom, "I've decided to start a family trust for Jennifer's children. They're the legacy of this family." They thought they'd won. They were celebrating pushing me out. I printed the documents, put them in a formal legal envelope. Lily asked, "Are we going to see Grandma?" "Yes, baby. One last time." Saturday morning, 10 a.m. I pull up to my mother's house, well, my house, alone. Lily's with David's wife, safe and away from what's about to happen. My mom opens the door, looking surprised. "I thought I made it clear." "This won't take long," I said. "I have something for you." I walk into the living room, and of course, Jennifer and Aunt Linda are there having coffee with my mom. Jennifer looks at me like I've lost my mind. "Are you serious right now? You're not welcome here." I place the legal envelope on the coffee table, right in the middle, where they can all see it. "You're going to want to open this," I said. My mom crosses her arms. "If this is some kind of apology letter, just open it." She picks up the envelope, pulls out the property deed. Her name's not on it anymore. Mine is. Legal owner, Rachel Morrison. 30 seconds of complete silence. You know that feeling when the air just gets heavy? That's what it felt like. My mom's face drains of all color. Her hands start shaking. What is this?" I keep my voice calm and steady. "That's the deed to this house. My house. I own it." Jennifer grabs the papers out of my mom's hands. "That's impossible. This house is Mom's." "Not for 6 months," I said. "Mom defaulted on her mortgage. The bank was going to foreclose. I bought the debt and the property back in April." Aunt Linda jumps in. "You can't just do that." "I already did. It's legal, it's registered with the county, and it's final." My mom sits down heavily on the couch. She's shaking now. You let me think. All this time. "All this time I owned this house," I said. "You treated me and my daughter like we were trash. In my house. You made my 8-year-old daughter eat in the kitchen on Thanksgiving while everyone else sat at the table. In my house." Jennifer's still holding the papers, flipping through them like she's going to find some mistake. "Mom, she's bluffing. She has to be." I pull out a second document from my bag. "Here's the foreclosure notice the bank sent you in January, and here's the payment record showing I cleared your debt in April, $47,000, plus legal fees. I saved for 6 years for this." My mom finally looks up at me. Her eyes are red. "Why would you do this?" And you know what? That question almost broke me. Because part of me, this small part, wanted her to understand without me having to explain it. But I realized she never would. "Because I could," I said. "Because while you were calling me a failure, I was building a career in real estate. Because I had the money, the connections, and the credit you assumed I didn't have. Because I'm not the disappointment you think I am." I walked toward the door, and then I stopped. This was the part I'd been rehearsing in my head. "You have 60 days to find a new place. That's more generous than what you gave me and Lily on Thanksgiving." My mom stood up fast. "Rachel, please, this is my home. I've lived here for over 30 years. "No," I said, and my voice didn't shake. "It's mine now. And you taught me something important, Mom. You taught me that real family comes first. Well, my daughter is my real family. She's the only real family I need." Jennifer tried one last time. "You can't do this to your own mother." I looked at her, really looked at her. "Oh, and Jennifer, I kept screenshots of every text message, every Facebook post, every comment. One day, Lily's gonna be old enough to read them, and she's gonna know exactly who her family really was." I walked out of that house, my house, and I didn't look back. The drive home, my hands were shaking on the steering wheel, not from fear, not from regret, from release, like I'd been holding my breath for years and finally let it out. I picked up Lily from David's house. She climbed into the car with her backpack. "Did you talk to Grandma?" "Yeah, baby, I did." "Are we going back for Christmas?" I looked at her in the rearview mirror. "No, sweetheart, but you know what? We're never going to eat in anyone's kitchen again. Not ever." Over the next week, my mom called 47 times. I didn't answer a single call. Jennifer sent these long apology texts, pages and pages of "I didn't mean it" and "we can work this out." I blocked her number. Aunt Linda tried to mediate. I declined. My mom eventually moved in with Jennifer. Turns out Jennifer's perfect house felt pretty crowded with an extra person living there. I kept the house for 8 months, then sold it for a profit, used that money as a down payment on our own place, a house that's actually ours, where Lily picked out her own bedroom and we painted it whatever color she wanted. Last Christmas, our first Christmas in the new house, Lily asked if she could invite her friends over for dinner. Of course, I said, and everyone sits at the same table. We had 10 people crammed around our dining room. It was loud and messy and chaotic, and it was perfect because every single person there wanted to be there. Every single person there saw us, really saw us. Here's what I learned. The people who underestimate you are usually the ones who never really saw you at all. They saw what they wanted to see, a failure, a disappointment, someone less. But that was never the truth. The truth is, I was building something the whole time. I was working, saving, learning, growing. I was becoming someone strong enough to stand up and say, no more. If your family has ever made you feel small, if they've ever made you feel like you don't belong, I want you to know something. Their judgment of you isn't the truth. It's just their story, and you get to write your own. I'm not saying revenge is always the answer. I'm not even sure what I did was revenge. Maybe it was just finally standing up, finally saying, I matter, my daughter matters, and we deserve respect. Was it worth it? Losing my family over a house? Here's the thing. I didn't lose my family. They lost me. There's a difference. And honestly, Lily and I are doing just fine. Better than fine, actually. We're free.